He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They love Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said earlier.
You got hit behind the line of scrimmage. You got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be, even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're at the half now of an incredibly frustrating football game for over-bettors. Even though it's not incredibly off the pace right now, the in-game total, 45.5 at the half. Minus 120 to the over, 5.5. The Baltimore Ravens are now 2.5-point favorites, which sounds like, oh, man, really, only 2.5. But they're down by 5, right? So they're down by 5. So it's a weird, it's a weird score, 12-7. Right now. So the Ravens are minus 2.5. They're minus 165 on the money line. And the Cincinnati Bengals are plus 135. That was a pretty poor performance from the Baltimore Ravens. But listen, the Ravens are on a 5-game win streak right now, and not all the wins have been pretty, right? It's just sort of let's just find a way to win, survive, and advance type of deal. For them. I think like the Toronto Raptors like that right now. The Raptors keep winning basketball games, but they're playing bad teams all the time, and you'll notice like they're always close games, but they sort of find a way to win. I would expect, listen, I think at minus 1, I'd rather lay it at 65 cents than at 2.5, right? Because they're down by 5. It's a weird, you got a weird score here. Now, they would go for 2 if they scored a touchdown, but if they don't get it, then you're completely screwed. So I think, Baltimore at minus 165. Remember, Cincinnati did get the ball first, too. Baltimore gets the ball to start the second half. As far as props are concerned for the second half, Joe Burrow, as expected, these guys are throwing the ball all over the place. He's got 165 yards, even though they're not scoring touchdowns. Joe Burrow's thrown for 165 yards so far. His prop is 285.5. Which sounds high, but it really isn't that much, right? So you need 121 yards to win that bet if you bet the over on Joe Burrow. Lamar Jackson has 127 passing yards. His prop is now 263.5. Both pretty significantly high for a 12-7 football game. As far as the rushing yard props are concerned, Derrick Henry started off the game with a bang, scored the first touchdown of the game. Derrick Henry stuck at 33 yards right now. I wouldn't go away from running the ball if I was Baltimore. But Baltimore have left 2 touchdowns on the field, right? They had a likely touchdown overturned, and they had a Zay Flowers touchdown overturned. right? Penalties, dropping the ball, like, you know what I mean? They literally have left 14 points on the field here. So it's not like Baltimore aren't moving the ball, even though they only have 7 points. They are moving the ball. They just do something stupid at the end of these drives. So Derrick Henry, 33 yards. His rushing yard prop is 73.5, which even though I like the over 91.5, kind of feels high right now. Chase Brown has 30 rush yards. His prop is 54.5. Joe Burrow has 2 rushing yards. His prop is 2.5. I always like that, those half yards. So it's plus 128 as well. So if Burrow's able to scramble once and pick up a yard, you win plus 128. I don't hate that, actually. Let's dig into the receiving here. This is where the value always is in the second halves of these football games. Let's start off. We talked about Jamar Chase. We were on Jamar Chase over 7.5 before the game started. Jamar Chase, his prop right now is 7.5. Jamar Chase has 4 catches in this game. His prop is 7.5 right now. Chase Brown has 4 catches already. His prop is 5.5. As we see, listen, Joe Burrow is coming back from injury. Joe Burrow has a terrible offensive line. So it's not shocking that he's dumping the ball off to Chase Brown as much as he is, just to avoid getting killed. You know, Chase Brown is 5.5. It's plus money. I like this. We'll get in on Chase Brown. You know, 2 more catches in the second half here, plus 115. We're getting plus money. So we're already in on Jamar Chase. So I'll get a piece of Chase Brown here at over 5.5 receptions, plus 115. As I stated, he's already at 4 right now. As far as the Ravens are concerned, and the Ravens do get the ball first to start the second half, so these numbers are going to change pretty quickly. Zay Flowers has 1 catch. His prop is 3.5, but it's minus 145 to the over. Rashad Bateman right now has 0 catches. His prop is 1.5 plus 135 to the over. Andrews, 1 catch. Surprising that Mark Andrews only has 1 catch. Over under 3.5 plus 130 to the over. Keaton Mitchell, he has 1 catch. His prop is 1.5 right now, but it's minus 190. But once again, we're always a fan of these half yard or just need 1 catch. 1 catch to Mitchell, we win the prop. We're going to get in on that. Isaiah Likely had a pretty, he could have had a great first half, not for the touchdown. But Isaiah Likely, 3 catches. His prop is 4.5 plus 140. So you got a lot of plus money angles here on this site. Derrick Henry doesn't have any catches. 0.5 is the prop to the over, minus 200. He doesn't catch a ton of passes out of the backfield to begin with. DeAndre Hopkins has a catch. His prop is 1.5 right now as well. It's also minus 190. So it's sort of the theme here. They'll give you 90, it's minus 190 if you want to just get 1 more catch in the second half. And Kolar's got 1 catch, and his prop is 1.5 at plus 150. I'm going to go with Keaton Mitchell. Let's go with Mitchell over 1.5. But I think that Chase Brown is the best one over 5.5 here at the half. I would expect this game to open up as well. We're at 4. It's 45.5 right now. We are at 19 points. But as I stated, like Baltimore have moved the football. They've left points on the field, right? It's not as if they're like, man, they just can't move the ball. And same thing with Cincinnati. Like it's one of those weird deals. Like if we just read the box score here to you, and you didn't know the score of the game, you would think there's more points put up on the board, obviously, right? Burrow had a big first half. There's a lot of guys with big numbers here in the first half. Yeah, resulted in points. You got to believe that Baltimore are eventually going to start to put some touchdowns up on the board. And I don't think Cincinnati are playing with house money. They have a good offense. I think Cincinnati will put some points up on the board. So I think it will still get there over the 45.5 in this game. Jesse Shule will step up and in a couple of minutes. We'll get his take and see what he likes at the half. You got a halftime show going on. I enjoyed Jack White earlier today during the Detroit Lion game. Eminem came out as well. It was badass, actually. It was cool. It was one of the cooler football halftime sets that we've seen in a while. So he kicked ass. Post Malone did the halftime show during the Dallas Cowboy game, and I know who Post Malone is and stuff, but I'm not a fan of his. I'm not an anti-fan. I'm not like, oh, I don't like him. I don't know his stuff, right? Like, whatever, dude. Like Post Malone, Jelly Roll, all these dudes, like the other Malone guy that died or whatever, like, they're all the same. They all have tattoos on their face, and they all start off as like white rap and turn into country. Like, so they're all the same, right? So Post Malone did kind of a safe, generic country act today. It wasn't bad, but, and now they got Little John tonight doing the halftime show here in Baltimore, which obviously I can't hear because we're doing the show right now. But you get the extended halftime shows during these Thanksgiving Day games. So Duke and Arkansas. Arkansas went on a big-time run, man, and they took the lead. They were up 60-53, and it looked like, all right, they got control of this basketball game, but here come the Duke Blue Devils right now. We got a 68-64 game. Both teams are in the bonus. We got 3.5 minutes left in this game right now. Duke just took a timeout, so I just grabbed the over, too, 155.5. I don't know if we're going to be able to get there. We're at 134 right now. I'm going to need a bunch of fouls late in this game. It still could get there. What's the in-game number now? It could get there, but we're sort of right on that border. 152.5. 152.5 is the total right now of Arkansas and Duke. So we got a good one going on there. And the college football game, 21-17 for the midshipmen.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy, the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They loved Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said earlier.
He got hit behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
In-game live rolls on right now. The Duke Blue Devils and Arkansas coming down to the wire. We got under 4 minutes remaining right now. Duke are still undefeated. They just showed the list of undefeated teams, including the Michigan Wolverines and the Michigan State Spartans, actually, with some big-time wins so far this year. But a quick check, if you're just joining us right now, we're at the half. So it's this, like I said, they got long halftime shows on Thanksgiving. So we got. I think that the Little John is done right now. So, yeah, the third quarter will be coming up momentarily. All right, let's bring in Jesse right now. Wager Talk in the house. What's going on, Jesse? Thanks for joining us tonight. How you doing?
Doing well, Gabe. It's morning over here, just watching the late Thanksgiving game, and it's not going as well as I'd hoped. I'm on Baltimore, and they just can't get out of their own way right now.
No, you know what? I talked about it. They left 14 points on the field, but I guess you could argue whatever. Cincinnati left 7, so I'm more frustrated from a total perspective. But what do you think of the second half here? Baltimore are laying 2.5, minus 165 on the money line. We're kicking off right now. I still think Baltimore will win this football game, but I don't know if they're going to be able to cover the opening number anymore.
I think the Baltimore money line is the way to go for the second half. That 165 would be the most appealing.
Yeah. So what do you think of the Bears and the Eagle game tomorrow with the Bears getting 7 points?
So I had a big game of the year play on the Bears last week against Pittsburgh, and I felt quite lucky that they snuck out of there with a win. I didn't like what I seen from the Bears, to be honest with you. I saw a few plays with Caleb Williams. One of the things I noticed is there was a few big third down conversions where he was scrambling to get to the marker, and there would be nobody around him. He would come up like half a yard short for no reason, kind of just a casual attitude. The Bears defense, against Mason Rudolph and the Steelers' half-ass offense, the Bears defense didn't look too good. I kind of think this is a game where Philly runs all over them.
You think it's a get-right spot, for the Philadelphia Eagles? It's not like the Eagles don't have their problems either, Jesse.
No, I know. Well, I didn't watch the 21-0 blown lead debacle against the Cowboys. That said, the Cowboys looked pretty damn good today, though. I think it's a get-right spot for the Eagles. As many problems as they have, I think they match up well against the Bears.
All right, so the big story this week, one of the big stories college football this week has been Lane Kiffin, the Lane Kiffin saga. I'm just so done with it and over with it. Like, dude, just, if you're going to just make up your mind, right? But this is what Lane does. Lane's about Lane. He's always going to be about Lane. And I find it amazing that Jane Franklin gets fired because he can't beat top 5 teams, but Lane Kiffin, loses to top 25 teams. Lane Kiffin's never won, right? But Lane Kiffin controls college football right now. Yet I don't think it affects the football game tomorrow. It could affect Ole Miss if they lose their coach and, they lose half their staff, etc. Going into the playoffs. That could be a tough spot that they're put in. But I don't think tomorrow will be a problem against Mississippi State. There's too much at stake for the players on the team. It's not just about Lane Kiffin, even though he thinks it is. You got 100 kids on this team that are on the verge of going to the playoffs here. They're playing against a hated state rival. This isn't on par with Michigan and Ohio State or the Iron Bowl, but I've been to Mississippi State games. They don't like each other. You know what I mean? Mississippi State's going to be freaking fired up for this game to try to, ruin Lane Kiffin's rep and their season. What do you think of the game tomorrow?
Well, earlier in the week, there was some 7.5s on the board, and I recommended taking Mississippi State. I could smell what was coming with Lane Kiffin. And, Mississippi State, you mentioned their defensive shortcomings. They're not a great football team. They're not a complete football team, but they've been a lot better this season than they were last year. At least they got themselves a quarterback. And if you look at Blake Shapen's home-away splits, he's been a lot better at home. This team has played close games against the big boys in the SEC. They've found a way to lose all of those games. But if you're giving me 7.5 points and there is the distraction, I watched the Lane Kiffin press conference. It was bad. It was really bad. He was looking down. He wouldn't make eye contact. He was evasive. He was not giving straight answers. I'm certain he's not going to be around for this playoff run. And if the players know that, they've got to make arrangements. Where are they going? Are they staying? Are they going somewhere? It gives them something to think about. I mean, they're the better team. They've got the talent, but they certainly should be distracted to some degree.
We've seen some of these coaches that have been in the rumor mill of talking about contracts. Good example was Elko with Texas A&M. Elko signed that big extension, and they announced it literally the morning of the South Carolina game, and then they nearly lost the game, right? And I even had Terry Bowden on, And he was the coach, and he even like admitted too. He goes, yeah, we talked about it. He goes, you're signing a $100 million contract. This doesn't just happen in 10 minutes. So there's a lot of back and forth going on. There's a lot of calls and a lot of distractions during the week and stuff. All right, who's someone who just got hurt on Baltimore? For the record, Baltimore punted. So they got the ball and they did nothing to start the second half here. All right, so you're on Mississippi State there. Anything else tomorrow you like college football? Full slate of games. You've got we've got quite a few, actually, but we've been talking about the big ones. But any under-the-radar games that catch your eye tomorrow?
Clean, old-fashioned hate. We all remember last year's game. What was it, 44-42 in 5 overtimes, Georgia Tech. Looking forward to that one. I'm kind of hoping it's another high-scoring game. I'm not sure if Georgia Tech can live up to last year's performance, but I think there's going to be points. I just don't think – you look at Georgia Tech's defense lately. They can't stop anybody. Georgia's offense has been a well-oiled machine. So, yeah, I like the over in good, clean, old-fashioned hate.
Iowa, Nebraska guys play. Speaking of, like, rivalries and stuff, like, this is a good one, actually. They literally really hate each other as well. It doesn't get hyped up and stuff like that, but they do not like each other, and Iowa absolutely own them. They've beaten them 9 out of the last 10 times that they've played. So, all right, we'll wrap up with Jesse on the other side. We'll see what he thinks about this game, Michigan, Ohio State, and more. In-Game Live continues.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They love Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said earlier.
He got hit behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-Game Live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
In-Game Live Game Day continues. I'm Morency. Man, Baltimore really aren't making this easy on themselves, I'll tell you that. It looked like they just got a stop on a 3rd and 4 from midfield, but we got a pass interference or whatever, defensive holding, I guess they're going to call it, whatever. But either way, it's going to be a first down for the Cincinnati Bengals. So the Bengals have a first down right now on Baltimore's 26-yard line. Already up by 5. Like, hell, even a touchdown puts them up by 8. A field goal puts them up by 8. A touchdown, and suddenly Baltimore has real problems for real And Cincinnati just got a big chunk on first down on the ground with Chase Brown. I'm not shocked, Cincinnati are scoring, whatever. They only have 12 points. They've been held to field goals, but they've moved the ball. The thing that surprised me the most about this game, Jesse, is that Baltimore can't score on Cincinnati. We talked about it before the game. Cincinnati have the worst defense in the NFL since 1978 as far as the metrics are concerned and their numbers. They're terrible. And everybody's scoring 30-plus on them. They've given up 30-plus in like 5 of their last 6 games. And here are the Baltimore Ravens with 7 points, Jesse. That's the thing that surprised me the most about this game.
Yeah, I mean, penalties haven't helped. Fumbling the ball into the end zone hasn't helped. But, yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that they come out and punt on their first drive in the second half.
All right, so what do you think of Michigan and Ohio State?
Yeah, I mean, I think it sets up perfectly for Michigan to do it again, to be honest with you. You got a bad weather game. Ohio State, they're considered to be the best team in the country, and I'm not going to argue that point. But I think they might have been better last year. They were certainly more proven last year. They had played Oregon. They'd played Indiana. This year, they play a Penn State team that wasn't nearly as good as they were supposed to be, a Texas team that wasn't as good as they're supposed to be. This Ohio State team hasn't really been battle-tested the way last year's team was. If that weather affects the passing game and turns this into a war of attrition, those 10 points that you can get with Michigan are going to look pretty good. So I would certainly lean to the dog in that game.
It's too bad that Justice Haynes isn't playing for Michigan. He's been out for the last couple of weeks, so it is what it is. They got to deal with it. And then Jordan Marshall, the second running back on Michigan, got hurt. He was in uniform last week. He didn't play, but he could have played, but he didn't. He should be good to go this week, but that's, the unfortunate thing. If Michigan if Michigan had a little bit deeper stable in the backfield, I would like it more. But listen, I'm a diehard Michigan fan, and we know what they're going to do, Jesse. They're going to run the ball down Ohio State's throats. It's very simple. Can they do it, and can they sustain it? And we'll find out about Julian Sain playing in bad weather, right, for the first time. There's going to be nasty weather, and as you stated, Ohio State never really played in a close game this year. What was their close game? Texas in the first week? A close, low-scoring game. So, and it's up to Underwood not to turn the ball over, Jesse. That's a big thing, too. He's got a big Josh Allen-like syndrome thing where there's just that.
Exactly.
Once a game, he'll throw the ball over the middle of the field, right? He just does it. Well, we just had a wicked catch there. Wow.
I think Underwood needs to be like Josh Allen with his legs.
I agree. All year, Michigan haven't unleashed Underwood with the ground game as much as they should, in my opinion. And I think their thought is that he's 18 years old. It's his first year. We don't want to get him killed and stuff like that. But I would unleash hell on Ohio State and have him running the ball all the time. But hell of a catch in the end zone by the Bengals, who's at Hudson. Hell of a catch. I was like, no way he's going to catch this. It was like one of those one-handed, and he rolled over. He held on to it. Touchdown Cincinnati, and we've got ourselves a 19-7 football game right now. Wow. Baltimore down by 12. Crazy stuff, Jesse.
Yeah, it looks like it's not going to be a great Thanksgiving card for me with that.
Navy are up 28-17 right now. That's pretty cool. I'm on Navy, but unfortunately I don't have Navy in a survivor pool like I have the Baltimore Ravens in a survivor pool. But it's a cold world. Jesse, wagertalk.com. Thanks, Jesse. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for having me.
All right, 19-7 for the Cincinnati Bengals right now. Total 46 and a half. Wow. Like I said, I'm not shocked the Bengals have 19 points, but I'm floored that the Baltimore Ravens are stuck at 7 points right now. But now it gets real. We got ourselves a football game, and we got ourselves, we got ourselves a sweat job for if you're a Baltimore Raven backer tonight. Let's roll. In-game live continues.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They loved Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I
He
said
got hit
earlier.
behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
All right, in-game live continues, and the Baltimore Ravens better start putting some points up on the board. Good start to the drive. They start off with a big play to Mark Andrews. He's trying to get the crowd all fired up. Listen, Baltimore aren't out of this, and in fact, I think they're going to come back and win. At least we've got an entertaining game here, and I think there will be some late drama. Baltimore, they only pay plus 165 on the money line. Right, and normally you'd get more. They're down by 12. They're getting 4.5 right now. The total just jumped up to 49.5, and then just dipped down to 48.5 right now. But this is a big drive. This is a big drive for the Baltimore Ravens. And honestly, what does a field goal do for them? Right? There's not a ton of time. There's time left. It's not, there's a lot of time left in the game, but you're down by 12. We're going to make it 19-10. I'm just stating that, you're probably in 4-down territory here, right? Unless it's 4th and 13 or something like that, or something egregious. Like I said, there's not a ton of time. You're going to touch the ball maybe, 3 more times after this, 3 more times after this drive. They're giving it to Henry, and he's just popping off some big runs right now. Let's bring in Sean Higgs. Sean, I'm in a survivor pool, and I didn't have a choice but to take the Thanksgiving Day games. I already took Detroit and Green Bay, so I couldn't touch that game. I didn't like Kansas City or Dallas enough to take it in a survivor. I don't trust the Eagles tomorrow, and I wasn't taking the Bears in a survivor as a 7-point underdog, so it was almost by default tonight to take Baltimore. Deep down inside, I knew it would end up being a sweat job and nothing would come easy, and here we are right now, Higgs. But if they score a touchdown here, they're right back in this thing.
You know what? If I had a choice between, obviously, you could use the first game. Dallas, Kansas City, you're like, oh boy, it could go just the way it went today. And this game here, I don't know if I would have ran to Baltimore with Burrow come back. My play probably would have been on the Eagles tomorrow. I heard you talking to Jesse earlier about the Cincy defense. Last couple of weeks they haven't been terrible. I know they give up 20-some points, but they actually held the Patriots to a field goal there. They stopped them 8 times at the 3-yard line. Eight times they didn't get in on that one drive. They had a penalty. They had 4 more shots. Again, are you expecting a 19-7? I was expecting 19-17. I was expecting maybe 23-19 as a final. Baltimore maybe, wins it like something close. I like the points here, obviously, with Cincinnati. But, Baltimore, do you think Lamar's still not 100%, like the way the offense has been playing lately, last couple weeks? It hasn't been – listen, week one is a total anomaly now for that 41-40 game for both of these teams.
No, he's not as quick. Like, you know what I mean? Like when he takes off and stuff like that. I think he's lost a step or he's got injuries. But look, during their 5-game win streak, Sean, they've been running the ball, right? And I think it's a product of them realizing their defense isn't very good, right? Yes. They were in a lot of track meets early, so I think Harbaugh kind of clued in and said, all right, listen, let's just keep our defense on the field and slow things down and run the ball. I talked about it with Henry's prop numbers before the game. The last 5 games, he's had 22 carries, 20 carries, 20 carries, 19 carries. It's been they've been running the ball a lot to keep their defense off the field, I believe. But they're doing it now. Listen, they're running the ball now. They got to finish the drive off. I mean, to be real, Sean, the freaking Ravens have left 14 points on the field tonight. Yes. Zay Flowers, touchdown call, Blakely, touchdown call back. There's a touchdown for them. Boom. They're right back in it. And there's Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell.
Look at this. I had I'm looking for Lamar anytime. I thought Lamar would run one in here today.
I talked about Keaton Mitchell catching another pass here, minus 190, in the second half. It was minus 190. He had one catch in the first half, Sean. I always like, you only need one more catch, but that's a handoff. That's not a pass. So, son of a bitch, of all people, Keaton Mitchell scores. Oh, really? Well, they scored quickly.
A 20-yard, 18-yard run. He ran it in. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he popped. He was like a bat out of hell. Boom, man, this kid exploded. Something you said there, though, Sean, about the Bengals defense playing better. It's true they are. And all the stops and stuff. That's my whole point with motivation. I know it's a big handicapper thing about teams, they're caring and all this. Why would the Bengals defense care?
Yeah.
They've won 3 games all year, but they're playing hard. They play hard still, right? The whole thing about motivation, no one's going to play better or worse because they want to win or did the Kansas City Chiefs want to win today? They needed the game today. They still sucked. They still have problems, right? You are who you are. That whole motivation and care thing, I don't buy into that stuff.
I buy into it more, maybe not as a motivation spot, but you're playing Thanksgiving, you damn well know nobody wants to come out lay an egg with the rest of the league and your peers watching you. So,
well, tell that to Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions.
I mean, they didn't get shut out. Listen, Campbell. Here you go. When they're completing those passes or 4th down conversions, whatever you want to do, the guy's a GOAT, right? Look at this guy. You got to love it. Bro, it has come back and bit him in his butt, not taking 3 points here and there, putting points on the board. It's come back to bite them this year. And that's why. And they're 7-5 this year. They're not 10-2. This is like the Vikings. You got lucky and not lucky. The breaks, however you want to call it, the ball bounced, blah, blah, blah. They're going your way. You're 14-4. You're the Minnesota Vikings last year. You're gonna push the needle a little bit and try to dance around the edge. You're 7-5 because you're risking these plays. It's a fine, like they say, right? It's a fine line between winning and losing. The finish line, right? I mean, it is what it is, Gabe. He's want to show up. I had Detroit today. I thought it was a spot for him. The Giant game you look at, okay, you had Green Bay on deck. Maybe you're overlooking a 2-win Giant team who came out and just was like, screw it, bro. We're doing, halfback option passes, laterals, flea flickers. You could get picked off that way. All right, now you got a rivalry game on Thanksgiving. That's a bad. Forget about the players. That's. I put that on the coach. I put that on Dan Campbell that game today.
Well, you know what? It is what it is. They have a ton of injuries in the secondary. I get it, but blah blah. Everybody's got injuries in the NFL now, right? It's just It is what it is. That's why you have depth. That's why backups matter. It's not just start. Yeah, everybody's beat up. But the thing is with the Lions, Dan Campbell's calls. It's not just the calls. It's just overall. But they can't stop anybody right now. Right? We saw the Giants put up a ton of points. Their receivers, and they don't even have receivers, and they were getting wide open. The Green Bay guys just torched them today. And don't look now, they got to host the Dallas Cowboys next week. And you get the Cowboys rolling in. It's the Dome. It's indoors. So, yeah, it's a road game, but it's not a weather game or anything like that. It's like that Cowboy offense, I don't see how the Lions secondary are going to be able to stop those guys.
I'm looking at Dallas 5.5 right now. I'm taking because I don't see them. Dallas offense could score. Can the defense hang
I
tough
saw
in this
3.5. Where are you seeing 5.5? Let me see now. Bet365 out of 3.5. Let me see FanDuel.
Caesars had a 5.5 up here. Unless it moved.
It's probably moved. Yeah. Okay. And FanDuel's 3.5. Bet365's 3.5 right now.
All right. Yeah. Well, that was a little earlier. I saw that, so I was like, you know what? I'll grab it at that point. If Dallas, the defense, again, this is a defense. The whole Parsons thing. Like you won't pay that guy $200 million. They weren't that great. You made a couple trades there. They've improved a little bit. That's all you really got to do in the NFL, right? You just got to be okay. Can you make a stop, right? If the guy in Detroit gets on that ball on 4th down, they got the ball back with 1 minute and 50 seconds left, right? You just need to stop when you need it. You keep a team in under 24, 25 points, you should be in it. If you're a good team, you should be able to beat a team 24-23. Let your defense make the stop. And Dallas has made the stops lately.
I'll credit Matt LaFleur, too. Even though there was one late in the game, I don't know why they were throwing the ball. They could have killed the clock. But
yeah,
you notice how some teams, 4th and shorts, it's so difficult for them. Green Bay just made it easy. They just throw this quick out to the receiver, and he'd fall forward for the first down. I'm like, yeah, that's what you do. Don't make it hard.
Where was that versus the Browns of Carolina?
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They loved Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said
earlier.
He got hit
behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Well, the good news for the Baltimore Ravens is they scored a quick touchdown. Bad news is they can't stop Cincinnati now. Jamar Chase with a big catch for a first down. Now they're running the ball. This third quarter is coming to an end, so we're going to have the fourth quarter coming up here. Now, I guess Baltimore is somewhat fortunate that they're down 5 now, right? They hold them to a field goal here, and they're down 8. They got to score a touchdown in the 2 just to tie the football game, but they can't just go back and forth here, like down 12 points, right, and be down 12 again instantly here. They got to find a way to get a stop. And, Sean, we just talked about it. Baltimore running the ball more now to keep this defense off the field, and we see they just can't get stops on third down. Every time like Burrow drops back, somebody's open.
He's Joe Burrow. If the guy's healthy, you know you're going to be in for a battle. Now, if he was 100% Burrow as opposed to just off the injured list, maybe this game is played out differently. Cincinnati scored more, but maybe Baltimore scores more in that spot, right? I think you get this kind of game like this based on like you said, the Ravens defense has not been good this year. I don't know. It's weird here, Gabe. I don't know. You like you said, you went down the field, just scored in 3 minutes or whatever, and then you let them march down the field here. I mean, you're at the third. I mean, you're going to the fourth quarter. You're in trouble here. How can
they got to make a play?
Talk about you can't make one stop somewhere? Hold them to a field goal.
Well, they didn't get the stop, and in fact, touchdown Cincinnati.
Wow.
This is unbelievable. Like Burrow, Baltimore's defense is just getting shredded now.
This is
total
crazy.
Just jumped to 54.5.
I thought this was a nice under. I'm like, look at the way this game's playing out. Nice and, a couple field goals. Yep, here we go.
I was worried about Burrow coming back too, Sean, with the whole survivor thing and stuff. And look at this pass, right on the money, down the field, boom, like he threw it like where the receiver wasn't yet, too. It's just one of those perfect plays. Wow.
Like, I know the guy wants to play. He's going to pay a lot of money to want to play. I can't believe you're sitting at 3-8 with, what kind of chance? You got a snowball's chance in hell to make the playoffs if you're Cincinnati, right?
I said the same thing. Why are you even playing him? Like, why risk injury, right? Just say it's a bad year, get better draft picks, and move on.
Exactly. Sit out for the year. Get the coach fired since he's terrible. Get an offensive lineman so you're not beat up again every single season. You're going to come in and maybe win like 3 of the next 5 games or something and be an 11th round pick or 11th pick in the draft. You need more than that. What do we do? You need a top 10 offensive lineman on this team to protect your franchise quarterback. And as we're venting here, as he's got a 12-point lead on the road as a 7-point dog, but
once again, we talk about teams want to win, players want to win. And, we always talk about that, right? And especially in the NFL. College is different in the NFL, but with NFL teams, the fans want the team to lose, right? The owner actually wants the team to lose when they're bad late in the season.
Yeah.
But the coaching staff doesn't because it hurts their reputation. Yeah, and the players don't, right? Because you think that the players, we're going to get a higher draft pick. Yeah, a higher draft pick that'll replace me.
Replace me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're not NFL players aren't excited for tanking for players and stuff. Yeah. Number one, you never know if a college player is going to be good anyway, so it's stupid to tank for anybody. And then number two,
how does that make you look?
They don't want to lose. They're playing for their own contract. Let's say there's a bunch of guys that are free agents on a team, Sean. They won't even be on the team next year. Then they're going to suck on tape and roll over because, I don't care. We're 3-8. No. They're like, no, I want to get 8 tackles, have some good game film, and I'll be on a better team next year, and I'll get paid. Sort of like baseball, right? That's what makes baseball betting good. Bad teams, there's no one never not cares in baseball. Yeah. Even the guys on the Colorado Rockies want to hit 40 home runs and get paid. It's very simple. Everybody wants to hit the ball. Whether you're on the Dodgers, the Kansas City Royals, the Marlins, you're all playing for money. It's as simple as that.
I do think, though, Gabe, sometimes you got a team that'll check out, though. Like, you kind of be like, you know what? You're going to have.
Yeah, they'll quit on the coach or, you're right. But that's more of a veteran team. You're right. I'm not saying teams don't tap out and quit.
Yeah, like the Miami, you talked about guys like the coach, owners on teams to tank. Like, Miami fired a guy because he wouldn't be bad games. He wouldn't be a bad coach. He's like, I'm going to try. And
now McDaniel's the classic example, Sean, where he's winning enough games just to screw them over. They're going to keep him and stuff, right?
Is that him, or is it the team actually winning some games? I mean, he's, you know what I'm saying? Like a guy like Stefanski. They ran that 5 quarterbacks last year. They had DRT and all these guys.
Well, he has a job for life there. That guy.
But I'm saying the players were there fighting for the guy. Like maybe they like this coach, even though the guy wears capri pants and comes in and doesn't know how to speak English at a press conference. He's like making a fool of himself.
No, the Dolphin players do like him, and other coaches actually even. I saw Bruce Arians on McAfee show. And Bruce Arians a hard ass. Like he rips everybody. And he actually said that. He's like, McDaniel's like legit one of the smartest guys in football. And he's really loved by every players love him. And like, that's why they didn't fire him. I think they'll get rid of Tua, but they're not going to get rid of him. And they fired the GM. They don't blame him. I think they blame the players more than they blame McDaniel. But as you stated, like he does bad press conferences. He doesn't look like a football coach. But as far as like being his fault, I don't think it's his fault.
I don't think it is either. It's weird because Tua, you look at that offense, they're putting up like 28 points a game. They score points. But they have some bad clunkers. You're like, this guy's got to go. This guy's got to go. Oh, this happens. They almost beat your Bills twice. They almost had them the first game. They had a clunker in what? The Colts, and who's their other bad game against? They had a 30-8 game.
Well, they've had a lot of clunkers.
But, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They come in like this one's like 33-8. They have like a bad one, but then all of a sudden they're beating the Bills almost twice. It's weird. Like what team are you?
26-14 Cincinnati. The Baltimore Ravens right now are plus 280 on the money line. It's 5.5 on the point spread. The total is now 54.5. We're at 40 points. 10 seconds left in the third quarter.
I can take the Ravens plus the points here before the shot. They're scoring. They'll lose by 3.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They loved Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said earlier.
He got hit behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, we've had some big chunk plays in this football game right now from Derrick Henry. For the record, the Duke Blue Devils survive. They win. They come back. They beat Arkansas 80-71. Game stays under the number. Arkansas cover the number. Duke wins, but Arkansas covers. It's been a great week of college basketball. And it's been a pretty entertaining football game, and it looks like it's lining up for a pretty wild fourth quarter of play. Like you said, Higgs, underbettors were feeling pretty good about themselves, and this game is really starting to open up right now. Lamar Jackson up to 190 passing yards. Derrick Henry, for the record, 10 carries, 60 yards, and one reception for 44 yards. So he's been productive, but he's only carried the ball 10 times so far. Joe Burrow, 21 of 42, 2 touchdowns and 240 yards. So as we stated, the total is up to 57.5. You're still getting 4.5 with the Ravens right now, plus 195 on the money line. They're moving the ball again. If they score a touchdown, we'll see if they can get a stop as the fourth quarter is set to begin. But before we get you out of here, Higgs, you got the Egg Bowl tomorrow. You got Texas and Texas A&M. You're in Texas. You got that game tomorrow night. We've got Georgia and Georgia Tech at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium tomorrow. Neutral field in Atlanta. It'll be split, actually. Even though Georgia Tech's season is imploded, still a big game. They hate the Georgia Bulldogs. It'll be a big party down there in Atlanta. And then, of course, Michigan and Ohio State on Saturday. What do you think about the big games?
I like Georgia. I mean, this is it's a big number, 2 touchdowns there. I'll still lay it. Just better. And let's be honest, are you going to risk being in a dogfight, maybe losing? How many 2-loss teams are getting in here? I know you're an SEC team, but go out there, beat a team that's just fell on their face and blew their season, right? I mean, Georgia Tech might be good for a half, but I think the Bulldogs pull away there. I don't know. Is it way too easy? Everybody taking Mississippi State here, like, oh, Lane Kiffin's leaving or not. He's not focused. Is it too easy to take the dog in that matchup?
I think Mississippi wins and it goes over.
Yeah.
I think they cover as well.
Yeah. I think everybody's just so focused on Lane Kiffin flying around, getting a job at LSU or Florida or wherever that, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm with you. Ole Miss in the over there. I like Michigan. I mean, you're giving 10 points. They beat them 4 straight times. I got to take the points there. How is that line 10? I mean, Jesse you're saying the same thing. Who did they beat? They beat Penn State. Michigan's actually getting better offensively as the season progressed. I had, what's his name? I had the under last week against Maryland. I thought, all right, Michigan's going to win this one like 23-6 or some nonsense. So they almost went over by themselves, this team.
No, they dialed it up last week against Maryland, knowing that this is the time to tune it up right before their biggest game of the year. Listen, this is as big as it gets. Ohio State really has nothing to lose. They lose, they're still in the playoffs. They'll fall a couple of spots in the rankings. Michigan playing for a playoff spot. Like Michigan win, they're in the playoffs at 10-2.
And that, people like to expand the playoffs, but here's the problem. You got Ohio State's like, we got our wide receivers are banged up. Let's sit them. Who cares? They'll be healthy for the playoffs. Where 5 years ago, playoffs, you're eliminated. You lose here, right? Michigan,
that's what happened. We bastardized. These games have almost become like conference championships in college basketball. It's like, you sort of care, but it's like, whatever, dude. We're playing in the NCAA tournament next week,
Yeah. And let's go into, and that leads me right into my A&M thought here. A&M will be great. Let's go undefeated season. Looks great, right? Undefeated. We're going to NCC championship game. Why? Well, you know what?
God.
Let's get a week off.
Lamar gets the ball tipped and they get intercepted. Whoa. This is getting real now. Man, they screw it up. It's unbelievable. 26-14, 12-point lead, and the ball at midfield. Ball gets batted at the line of scrimmage, into the air. Easy pick for the Bengals. Ravens falling apart right now. I swear, this is where that in-between quarters hurt them. They were moving the ball. They had a little momentum there. And then there was a break because of the end of the quarter. They come out of it, and boom, they throw the interception. But, wow. Looks like I'm about to bite the dust in Survivor, which is very sad. Very sad. Going to need a miracle here, Higgs. They're running out of racetrack.
Well, I mean, forget about that. I mean, you're down 12. The way your defense is, it's going to be 29-14 minimum. Yeesh.
Wow. 26-14. 12:54 left. 7.5 is the new number. Cincinnati favored. 53.5 is the total. Thanks, Higgs.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They loved Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League.
Yep.
So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I
said
earlier.
He got hit behind the line of
worst problem
scrimmage.
on
He got
this team is
tackled
the
in the
offensive
end zone.
line. Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing
No
is,
surprise.
Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
In-game live continues. I'm Morency. We're kicking it here. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. You're not having such a great Thanksgiving. Not a lot to be thankful for right now if you're on the Baltimore Ravens. Once again, we've talked about it. 2 touchdowns overturned by the Ravens tonight. Moving the ball on that last drive inside the red zone. They throw an interception. They need to stop, just point blank. They need to stop here. Listen, hypothetically, you could argue whatever, dude. 12 and 15, there's a little, it's kind of the same thing. You need 2 touchdowns, but you would need the extra, you would need a 2-point conversion as well to get to 15. They still have time. I think time is more the enemy than the scoreboard in the sense that get the ball back, score quickly, and you're down a score again. But Cincinnati gets a first down here, they could eat up another 3, 4, 5 minutes of the clock, and then suddenly you're in a lot of trouble, man. You're down by, potentially 19 points, and it's game, set, match. They need to stop it. And as I say that, Cincinnati converts on a 3rd and 6, and they're just going to bleed the clock some more. Let's bring in Mick Aussie right now. Mick, good to see you. Thanks for stepping up and in here this evening. I tell you what, the Cincinnati Bengals aren't playing around tonight, and the Baltimore Ravens are falling apart. The underdogs won the first 2 games today, although they were only 3-point spreads, but Green Bay was an underdog. Kansas City was the favorite against Dallas, and, of course, Baltimore were favorites tonight. The underdogs have been barking, Mick. How you doing?
Oh, mate, and our buddy King Gunja down there in Texas, he took the Packers and the Chiefs, and the Cowboys, and I listened to him. I took the Cowboys as well, luckily. But, yeah, Joe Burrow, mate, he's been out for so long, and everyone's saying, when he comes back, he'll be no good. Wow. Ravens, what's wrong with them, mate? This is crazy. Thursday night, you never know what's going to happen. Upsets all the time, as we know.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm not shocked that Burrow looks good and the Bengals are moving the ball. I like the over this game. I thought there would be points, but I can't believe Baltimore's offense keeps screwing up as much as they are. But like you said, man, the NFL is not for long, right? You're good and then you're not. Like it's a wild league. It gets crazier every year, it seems. Now Burrow's just picking them apart. There's another catch for Jamar Chase right now. So like I said, guys, they hold them to they hold them to a field goal. You're down by 15, but time is running out for Baltimore, and this does not look good for them. But Who do you like this week, Mick, in the National Football League? What are your best bets, Mick? How you been doing with your bets, and who do you like this week?
Oh man, plus minus is so hard. I'm in a money line multi aggregate competition coming 7th out of 100, so that's good. But I think
That's
you'll
good.
like this one. Yeah, because I think you'll like this one because you don't like big spreads. I like the Panthers to cover the Rams at 10.5. Rams on the road could be a letdown spot. Rams are very good, as we know. Panthers are not too bad. They've won quite a few games. So I like that probably to the Panthers to cover, but Rams to win, of course. Also, I like the Dolphins at -6 after a week off. I think they'll be okay, but they're a bit suspect. Saints are no good. I like the Falcons at -2.5 against the pathetic, terrible Jets. And then the Bucks, the Jags, and the Bears +7. I do like that. I heard you talking about that earlier. So the Bears, I don't like the Bears or the Eagles. Trouble at the Eagles. Jalen Hurts won't throw the ball. Troubles at wide receiver. And I hope they do well and the crowd just goes crazy. But Bears are overrated, mate. I reckon there's a few teams that their record's a bit better than they are. Bears and the Broncos, mate. I don't think we are 9-2. We've been very lucky, but I'll take it, of course.
The Patriots as well. The Patriots are good, but they've had a soft schedule. And we were talking about it earlier. The Patriots actually, by the numbers, now just because because a data guy says this doesn't make it true. But the Patriots are the worst 10-2 team since 1978 as well. Another year of 1978 that they're actually not that good, but they're 10-2. Denver, I hear you. Denver, nothing's easy for them, Mick, but they find ways to win football games. I think Denver are better than the Patriots are. And how about this, Mick? If the playoffs started this weekend, the Buffalo Bills would be at the Denver Broncos. That's the playoff matchup as of right now. The Patriots are the 1 seed and have a bye. It would be Buffalo at Denver, Jacksonville at Indianapolis, Chargers at the Ravens. The NFC, the Rams have the top seed right now, but the Eagles would if they win the game tomorrow because they have the tiebreaker against the Rams. So the Rams have the top seed. The playoffs would be the 49ers at Eagles, Packers at Bears, Seahawks at Buccaneers. But what do you think, Mick, of your Denver Broncos Sunday night football in Washington against the Washington Commanders? Broncos are 5.5-point favorites.
Oh, well, they'll probably win by 3 because that's what they seem to do. Daniels, I'm not sure if he's back at quarterback. He's been injured. Commanders are not very good. I don't mind their coach. But we've got a pretty good all-round team, and Franklin stepped up at wide receiver. Our running back's out, but Harvey's doing well. He's getting more carries. And, of course, Sutton is leading the receiving. Bo Nix is statistically a little bit worse off this year, but man, when they're calling for him not to be a great quarterback, that was a bit early call. He's done well. Broncos to win, but I'm not sure on the cover there, mate. They just seem to scrape by, don't they?
It's going to be Marcus Mariota. So at least the Broncos catch a break. At least they're, Jaden Daniels is injured, but, why bother playing him? All right, here's the field goal coming up. So they got to stop on 3rd down. 52-yard field goal attempt here. Big difference between 12 and 15, and it looks like the kick is going to be good. And the kick is good. So the 52-yarder is good. The Bengals have a 15-point lead right now. This is absolutely positively it. For the Baltimore Ravens. They need to score a touchdown. They can score the touchdown, and they got to get 2 touchdowns, and they need to get a 2-point conversion once. Between them screwing it up, Mick, and turning the ball over and the mistakes that they make and not getting a stop, they're in a lot of trouble right now. The Baltimore Ravens are plus 1,200 on the money line, 12-1 to come back. Speaking of a lot of trouble, Mick, I got to ask you, what the hell's going on with the Edmonton Oilers right now? I'm assuming that people aren't very happy with their performance in Oil Town right now.
Oh, Bouchard's overrated on defense, but the main problem, obviously, is goaltending. The local boy, Skinner. they got to do something there. Goaltending terrible. Bouchard, like I said, I don't know. They started like this last year, then they came good. They're about 50-50 now, so they're very worried. Absolutely, they are. And all the people that pay big bucks to go there, and then to see them get beaten like 8-3 or something, terrible, mate. I wouldn't be paying big bucks to sit there, especially if they lose, mate. Terrible.
Mick, Australia made the World Cup of Soccer, and I'm telling you, I got a big feeling. The draw is next Friday. They're going to announce where everybody is playing next Friday, or who's playing who, actually. So you'll sort of know who's where it is. I got a big feeling Australia is going to end up in Vancouver, Mick, against Canada. I'm calling it now. So I'm just giving you the heads up. Don't be surprised next week. I had a premonition. Japan, Australia, and Canada in a group together. I can see it now coming here with Australia. And if it happens, we got to see it, Mick. I mean, that's the world. The world is going to be in Vancouver for a couple of weeks.
Oh, I'd go for the party. I'm not a massive soccer fan, but I do like the highlights of the World Cup. Absolutely, mate. So I'm sure you'll go and pay big bucks. Like, tickets will be astronomical. But yeah, it's a big event for Canada, US, and Mexico, of course.
Yeah, it'll be 300,000 people in Vancouver during a 3-week span. Big-time party. All right, Mick, good to catch up with you. Thanks, Mick.
All right, good luck to your Bills. They're going a bit rough, mate.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They loved Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said
earlier.
earlier.
He got hit behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Well, the Baltimore Ravens are getting bailed out by some flags right now. They got saved on a penalty. Now they went for it all. They just went for the jugular on a bomb here. It looked like it was caught, but he couldn't hang on. It would have been first and goal. It is not. They still listen. It's not impossible for Baltimore to come back. They got as high. We'll track this. They got as high as plus 1,200 on the money line. So they're plus 850 right now. You're getting 8.5 with Baltimore. They're expecting Baltimore to score a touchdown. Baltimore have moved the ball, but they've had real problems. They've turned the ball over. They find themselves in third, these critical third and fourth downs too much right now. And they're sort of moving the ball right now, but it's taking them too long to do it. They've got to pick up the pace. I like the fact that they tried to throw the ball. Should have been caught. Like, it was a good pass, actually. People think Lamar Jackson can't throw the football. That's not true. He can throw the football. He's not great in the intermediate stuff. Teams, like, the one way to beat Baltimore and confuse him is basically like in a zone type stuff. You drop back a bunch of guys and you make them sort of like really read the defense and find somebody, but he's got a strong arm. He can throw. Like, that was an accurate bomb that he just threw down the field. So it's not impossible. They're down 2 scores, but they're down 2 scores and a 2-point conversion. The problem is, like, even if they score here, can they get the stop after? Right? There's been a couple, they were down. They've been down. They scored. And then after, Cincinnati score every time after. The total is 50.5 right now. Baltimore just got hit with a penalty. We got a couple of college basketball games going on. We got one that just sort of tipped off a couple of minutes ago. Oklahoma State are up 19-17 on Northwestern right now. And Stanford are up by 2 on Minnesota with 8 minutes left. 57-55 in college basketball. And Lamar, here we go again. They're in a 4th and 8. It's just over and over. They find themselves like, they move the ball, and then suddenly they find themselves in a terrible situation. This is the football game right here, point blank. Right? They give up the football here. They give the ball up at midfield, down 15. It's game, set, match. And they don't have a choice. They got to go for this. 4th and 8. Lamar back to pass, and he's under pressure. He throws it into traffic that didn't have a chance, and Cincinnati gets the stop. That's it. Cincinnati are going to win this game outright. Wow. And, whatever, it is what it is. I'm going to go down to the Survivor. I can't, I could have taken Philadelphia tomorrow, but I don't even fully trust Philadelphia tomorrow. This was a winnable game for Baltimore. They're just absolutely choking tonight. The thing is, though, which angers me, is that they won't have to pay the price for it. Their division is no good. Pittsburgh is falling apart. Pittsburgh are okay. I think Buffalo are going to beat Pittsburgh on Sunday. Right? The Cleveland Browns suck, and Cincinnati have had a terrible season. This is only going to be their 4th win. It's kind of crazy, though, with that being stated. Baltimore are in first place right now, right, with 6 wins. Cincinnati win this game. They're only a couple of games back suddenly, as crazy as it sounds, but my whole point is Baltimore are going to end up winning the division. There won't be like big ramifications for them being terrible tonight and losing this game, but very disappointing performance from the Baltimore Ravens offense. They've given up 29 points, fine. That's not very good from their defense either, but I kind of expected this game to be a track meet, but I can't believe the Baltimore stuck on 14, but this is going to make the playoff picture very interesting, and like I said, that Pittsburgh Steeler-Buffalo Bill game becomes massive right now. Buffalo are hanging on to the last playoff spot right now. Buffalo are the 7 seed right now with a 7-4 record, but they just lost to the Houston Texans. The Texans are 6-5 right behind them. Like, Buffalo lose this game, they're suddenly not in the playoffs. Right? And they're like the Detroit Lions. Like, and then suddenly people are going to be talking about firing McDermott, more so than Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's not on the verge of getting fired. McDermott could get fired, and probably deservedly so if they don't make the playoffs. I mean, let's be real. So, and, same thing with Pittsburgh. If you're Pittsburgh, you're out on the outside looking in right now as well. You're 6-5. So that Buffalo-Pittsburgh game does have teams. Hell, Pittsburgh wins. They're in first place, right? Like, they skyrocket up into first place. It's going to be a wild final month, man, to play in the National Football League, considering when you look at the standings and how all these teams have the same records for the most part, right? You got 3 teams in the AFC with 7-4 records. The Chargers are 7-4. The Jags are 7-4. The Bills are 7-4, right? And then you've got a glut of like 6-5. The Houston 6-5. Pittsburgh 6-5. Kansas City now 6-6. Man, this thing is like more jammed than the freeway after a Dodger game right now. Similar situation in the NFC as well, and the Dallas Cowboys are playing themselves back into the conversation right now We talked about if the playoffs started today, the 49ers would be at the Eagles, the 7 versus the 2. The Packers would visit the Bears, the 6 versus the 3. And Seattle would be at Tampa Bay. But, you look at the NFC picture, and it's not quite as convoluted because you got to be, Carolina are going to start to fade, right? They're 6-6, but they're going to go in the wrong direction as the season goes on. Dallas and Detroit are still in this thing, and they're playing each other next Thursday. So we pretty much have an eliminator there. Big run for the Cincinnati Bengals. Wow. Like, they're not only going to win this game, like they're pounding the Baltimore Ravens. Like, they're beating them up now. They're running the ball down their throat. They're turning, they're stopping them on 4th down. They're intercepting them. They're getting pressure on Lamar Jackson. I've said this a million times, man, about motivation, right? You figure out what do the Bengals have to play for, right? Players play, man. They want a ball. They want to succeed. They want to win games, and they want to get paid. And the more they win and the better numbers they put up, the more that they're going to get paid. It's as simple as that. This is a spirited performance from the Bengals tonight. You wouldn't know that they're a 3-8 football team. Like, if you didn't see their record under, like, their name, you wouldn't be able to tell that this is a 3-8 football team tonight. Harbaugh has a confused look on his face right now. Like, they've got no answers. I feel your pain, Coach. 29-14.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They loved Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I
He
said earlier.
got hit behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody except the people that went to the football game in Baltimore tonight. Like, think about that. Like, you go out, it's Thanksgiving. No dinner today, no family. We're going to the football game. Like the home team loses by 15 points. And it could be more, actually, here, depending on what happens. There's still 5 minutes left, so we're mercifully, playing this game out right now. Hell of a performance from Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, though. Like I said, I've repeated myself a couple of times, but to me, it's like, whatever. Burrow is Burrow. So I'm not shocked here that, the offense looked good, but defensively, they really stepped up tonight. Let's give credit. It's partially Baltimore being inept, and it's partially Cincinnati's defense did show up and really, they caused a lot of problems for Lamar Jackson. They've confused him. They've gotten in his face. They've batted balls. They've swatted balls at the line, right? Like they played a great game defensively. It's been a real collective team effort for Cincinnati. Listen, it was just a couple of years ago. Cincinnati were in the Super Bowl, right? In a complete football team. Their defense has, gotten worse. They don't want to pay anybody on defense. They spent all their money on offense. They don't want to pay their defensive guys. And they end up paying the price for it. But hell of a performance tonight for Cincinnati, which we look forward to tomorrow now, the Chicago Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's a 3 o'clock Eastern start time, this football game. Eagles are 7-point favorites. The total is 44. And we've seen this. Like I said, there's, these NFL games, they're all kind of like, carbon copies of each other in the sense, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? They go on the road, big playoff, sort of atmosphere, playing a good team against the Rams. Can they step up in class? And the answer was no, right? They got punched in the mouth. It was completely a one-sided football game. Carolina Panthers, one of these sort of upcoming teams. Oh, is this a lifeline? Wow. All right, let's have a story for our grandchildren, although I will never have grandchildren, but maybe our boy Vinny will. Let's have a story. Remember that Thursday night? And they came back from 15 down with 4 minutes left? Cincinnati just opened up the window here. All right, they just opened up the window. Baltimore recovers the fumble. They get the football back. They're still down by 15 points, but at least they have the football right now. They got about 5 minutes to work with. Actually, you know what? They didn't use their timeouts because they actually quit on the game, ironically enough. They're like, yeah, we're done. So I looked up. I'm like, well, you got 3 timeouts left, but yeah, what's the point of really kind of using them right now? You kind of just want to get out of here, it seems. But all right, we've got signs of life. Not much life. Let me see. What's the? I like to see like the computer percentage of chance of winning the football game right now. For the record, they just locked it as well, so the computer and the sports books are getting thrown for a loop on this. So as soon as it unlocks, we'll let you know. All right. You know what? I'm a positive person by nature, at times. So let's be positive here. Let's hit a bomb and whatever, dude. Maybe something crazy can happen. Whole thing is, if you're only down by 8 or even 10, we can make the argument that, like, all right, you only need a touchdown and a field goal here. You could pull this off somehow, but they need 2 touchdowns. So they need a quick touchdown, they need a stop, and then they need a miracle late touchdown again. Signs of life, not much, but so yeah, as I was saying about tomorrow, so now the Bears, this is a step up in class, right? This is one of those are you for real football games. Right? No, everyone that's joined us tonight, we've had a million guests tonight. Everybody always said, I think the Bears are fraudulent. Right? Are they fraudulent? Or are they what their record says they are? And there's 2 sides to it, too. It's not like the Philadelphia Eagles are terrorizing teams right now. The Eagles offensively have problems. Defensively, they're playing well. Right? But if the Chicago Bears can get a lead and not fall behind and not let Philadelphia dictate the play calling, right? Like Philadelphia gets a lead, suddenly Saquon Barkley in the ground game and the little screen games work. You can really, you put pressure on Philadelphia by putting them in must-pass situations. I like Jalen Hurts. I think he gets overly criticized, but at the same point in time, the Eagles are not a great drop-back, like passing attack type of team. They can throw the football, but it's predicated a lot on their ground game working. And this is one of the reasons why now, like, their passing attack is struggling a lot because the ground game really isn't working and their offensive line play is struggling. Right? So are they suddenly going to, is the switch going to flick suddenly here against the Chicago Bears? I'm not so sure. Now Lamar just throwing it away and running for his life anyways. They get the ball back.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They loved Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League.
Yep.
So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I
He
said
got hit
earlier.
behind the line of
worst problem
scrimmage.
on
He got
this team
tackled
is the
in the
offensive
end zone.
line. Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing
No
is,
surprise.
Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Well, I don't know how many times I've said you can't make this up this week or the last couple of days or today, but we get given the lifeline, little bit of side, just a little bit of side of life. Zay Flowers turns the ball over. They get a big first down. Mark Andrews get the ball in midfield. Zay Flowers catches the ball, fumbles the ball. Didn't Zay Flowers fumble last year in the playoffs too? I know Mark Andrews dropped the ball, but they always do this. They just are who they are. It's constant. I got to tell you, I wish I would have bet on how many helmets were thrown on the Ravens sideline tonight instead of the Ravens. Every Raven player is just going to the sideline and throwing his helmet. I said this before, and I'm going to stand by it. Zeno brought it up too, I swear. Every time these teams wear these stupid helmets and uniforms they never wear, they lose. All the time. The Bills, they did that little white Blizzard jersey they made up just to make money off in the sale there. They lost. It happens all the time. But that's almost just torture. It's almost cruel and unusual punishment, what they just did there. You got a little shot. Oh, big first down. Let's go. Well, it's still 5 minutes. You've got a shot. No, this is just brutal. Like I said, cruel and unusual punishment. Not fair. And you know what? This is one of these tough nights tonight, too. Normally it'd be all right, you know what? Screw this, man. There's there's 4 NBA games on now, right? Or there's a bunch of NHL games on. There's a bunch of college basketball. It's Thanksgiving. There's not. So we're stuck with this, and you got to deal with the loss if you're on the wrong side of it, unless you want to start chasing and get real degenerate and start laying it down on Oklahoma State and Northwestern, which is a close game. It's 33-32. Stanford are up by 3 right now with under 2 minutes remaining against the Minnesota Golden Gophers, but sometimes when you go to the racetrack, you just have to accept that it wasn't your day. And you know what? They'll be racing again in the morning, and they will be. So we've got college football in the morning. We're going to be back on Saturday at noon with a big-time show, man. Right? It's Michigan and Ohio State, and we're going to be on live during that game. And we've got Clemson and South Carolina as a big-time game also. As far as the rivalry is concerned, not so much for the playoffs, but that's an early Saturday game. And Miami, Florida, and Pittsburgh as well. Miami are 7-point favorites. That total keeps on coming down. It's down to 59.5 right now. But as far as the games tomorrow are concerned, So there's just been so much talk about Lane Kiffin this, Lane Kiffin that. I can't say, oh, no, it's not a distraction to Lane Kiffin, but I don't think it's a distraction for the players as much as people think it is. I think they're kind of dialed in. And also the thing is, too, it's like, it's not like a bunch of players like are going to leave, like if Lane Kiffin leaves, right? Number one, they're going to feel betrayed by Lane Kiffin, so they're not going to want to follow him. Like, when you see that all these players follow coaches to a new team, it's when the coach got wronged, right? Like James Franklin, a good example. 19 players have decommitted from Penn State, and they're going to go to Virginia Tech. They were going to Penn State because of James Franklin, right? So they like Franklin. But if you're on Ole Miss, and let's just say hypothetically Lane Kiffin announces, yeah, he's going to LSU next year, all right? He's not going to be a coach of Ole Miss anymore. LSU doesn't pay much, any more in NIL deals than Ole Miss does, right? So it's not like it's some big step up, you know what I mean? Whatever, maybe it's a step up like in name stature for Kiffin, but whatever, right? Like if you're a player on Ole Miss, you're already getting paid and stuff, so you're not worried about, oh, where am I going to go and what am I going to do and stuff like that. You're more worried just about finishing the season strong here. So I like Ole Miss in this game. And I generally, I'm not the biggest Ole Miss fan, but, this Chambliss kid is a stud. Their defense is good. It'll be a track meet. I do think it goes over to 63 because Mississippi State's offense is really good and they will score, but they won't be able to stop Mississippi. So Lane Kiffin distractions aside, I keep coming back to 42-28, that type of football game, 41-24, 42-28, 40-30 or something like that, 45-30. But I think Ole Miss, it'll be close for a while, but I think ultimately Ole Miss will win the football game and they'll cover the number. 7-point favorites, total 63. I think it goes over the number. Iowa, Nebraska, the total is 39.5. And these two teams have played some low-scoring games over the years. We talk about rivalry games. Iowa just absolutely own Nebraska. Of course, Raiola's out for the Huskers. They did win last week at UCLA. And listen, I think Matt Rule is a cool dude. I think he's a nice guy. He's a I think the players like him and he treats his players well and all that type of stuff. But I've been critical of him as far as him being, because if you're a nice guy and the media likes you, they won't call you out as much. Right? So I just think it's funny that James Franklin got fired because he can't beat Ohio State or Michigan, but they wanted to hire Matt Rule, who's 0 for 19 against top 25 football teams, right? So I got sort of the irony there, but I'll tip my cap to them. Nebraska's had a nice season this year. By Nebraska standards, I know the old school Nebraska fans want more, but you're 7-3. You lost your quarterback. It's been a pretty good year for them, but they can't beat Iowa. The question is the point spread too high, but they can't beat Iowa. Iowa owned them. They beat them 9 of the last 10 times that they played. And the last 2 times that they played, it's actually been 13-10, both games. All right, so it's 39.5, but like I said, Nebraska and Iowa, they generally play really low-scoring football games. All right, as this football game's about to wrap up right now, the Cincinnati Bengals get stopped on 3rd down, but Baltimore can't do anything with the clock right now. So we'll see what Cincinnati does here. They're not going to kick a field goal. They're just going to waste time here. I don't know, maybe they will kick a field goal just to torture us all and prolong this football game. And the worst part is, I can't believe this game stayed under. Or I can't believe it's one of those can't believe, you can't make it up type of days today between the Detroit Lions, the Cowboy Chief ending, and now into tonight. Wild stuff in the National Football League today. And any bettors out there that parlayed the 3 underdogs today on the money line, you cashed in large with this Cincinnati Bengals money line being the icing on the cake here this evening. So, yeah, we'll wrap it up in a couple of minutes here. But so on the way out, Mississippi covers the number tomorrow. The game goes over the number. Iowa and Nebraska, I think Iowa are going to beat them again. They just own them. Iowa are better than their record is. I don't know if they cover the point spread. I think the number is a little high, actually. It's 6. Like I said, they played consecutive years. The last 2 years has been 13-10. I think, a little higher scoring than that, but Nebraska are probably a live dog, but I think Iowa are actually going to win the football game. They're minus 240 on the money line for money line parlay players. Utah is also at noon tomorrow against Kansas. So they kicked the field goal after all, 41-yard field goal, 32-14 right now, 106 left. Baltimore out of timeouts. This is one of these instances where even the Baltimore, I think Cincinnati just kicked the field goal to piss Baltimore off. Honestly, if you're I just saw Lamar Jackson look up, you got to be kidding me. I don't think Lamar wants to come back in the game right now. But it'll be a bad look, right? Everyone didn't want to come back in. There was still a minute left or whatever. But, wow. Georgia and Georgia Tech. Total is 59.5. Listen, I'm a fan of this Georgia Tech team. They're scrappy. I like Haynes King. Yet, I think Georgia are going to cover the number, and I think it's going to go over the 59.5. All right, thanks to our crew here tonight. Thanks to you for tuning in. We hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Keep it locked in on the grid. There'll be in-game lives all day long tomorrow. I'll be back with you Saturday at noon, Michigan and Ohio. Go Blue. Other than that, you're on your own.